Good morning. It's not afternoon. It's 11 a.m. or a little bit after 11:10 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's the Across the Pondcast with Sam and Matt, the best podcast you've never heard of. And we're starting a little early because we have a special guest. We have Isa with us, and she's in the Philippines, so we had to come a little early because I thought 5 a.m. was a little awful to try to make you podcast.
Just a little bit.
Although it might have been interesting to see kind of what sleep deprivation would have really, would have worked on. It might have been comical. But
we would get pre-coffee Isa, we don't know.
Oh, yeah. And we've heard about pre-coffee Isa. That's maybe not a good look. So we are so glad you're able to join us and take time out of your Sunday. I know it's late there even, and it's a Sunday, and we really appreciate you taking time to show up with us.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. Like I said, just by listening last week, I was just like, that's going to be a fun one. So, yeah, I've been super excited to do this, actually.
Well, good. I'm glad. Like I said, and this is one of the good things is we can still talk tech, but we really kind of get comments from all of our people. We already have Gary the fireman. We have Ronald in the house. ER's in the house. So people will start to show up and just ask questions. I thought Aditya earlier. So they'll just ask questions, and we just want to get to know more about. I can always get specs. I can always watch your reviews, but this is more about an hour and 15 minutes of you just letting it go, talking about whatever, and just wherever the show goes, it goes. So.
Well, okay, before we start, I have a question for you guys. I know this is not my podcast, but I've been really curious, and I saved the question for when we're on.
Cool.
How did this Across the Pondcast happen? Because I was talking to Joshua, I was like, okay, we're in an LDR.
Right.
But you are too. And this rarely happens, okay?
Yeah.
So I was like, and Joshua was like, yeah, Across the Pondcast. That's why it's Across the Pondcast. But I'm like, but that doesn't just happen. Like, this is what people ask us all the time. How are we together if he's from LA and I'm from Manila? And this is also the same question I'm giving you guys because I've been so curious.
So, how it really started was I've always wanted to kind of start a show, and I've seen all my people. I've been following tech for years, and Juan and TK and everybody, right? I just watch tech because it's fun. And then I thought to myself, I go, everybody's just kind of. I watch another like guys like Viper and Trent Marshall kind of just start up organically, just kind of start a show and say, fuck it, why not just start a show? And so I looked into it, and it just started off with just me. It was just me the first time, and I didn't have a name. It was actually called the Sunday Stuff and Things. That's what because I didn't have a name.
I like that.
Previous show name, yeah.
The previous show name, and I had it was just about anything. I wasn't going to talk tech. I was just going to basically piss and moan for about an hour and a half every day about just whatever, not necessarily political or anything, but just whatever. And then I think maybe the second or third show, Matt was like, hey, I'd like to be on and we'll just talk. And then we got a show, and it just was like our first time we did get together. This is pre broadcast, pre Spotify, none of that. It just clicked. We're like, dude, this is actually we'll just do this. And so we had it was called the Sunday Stuff and Things for 2 or 3 shows. And then all of a sudden we put a contest in the show with all these people and hey, come up with a name and we're going to which one we like, we're going to use it. Cause I am not creative at all. I have no ideas about anything. I'm terrible.
Fuck no.
We're just not, it's bad. So one of our Aditya is actually in the comments. He came up with Across the Pondcast and but then there were other Across the Podcasts so we just made it with Sam and Matt, and then that's how it started.
It's a great name. I was just like, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
It was interesting. It was we got some interesting choices to choose from, but Across the Pondcast just seemed to be the best fit.
Yeah.
It just works.
And then we thought, well, instead of just us, who's just going to listen to these two people talk about random just stuff and not really, we're not that, I don't think I'm that enjoyable, but my wife will tell you, she listens to me run my mouth all the time and she thinks I'm an idiot. So, but I'm helpful.
A lovable idiot.
Yeah. I'm great because I'm helpful and I don't really ask a lot of questions. I just do what she asked me to do. Like today I was playing golf and some guy said, my wife was walking up to the tee. And he's like, oh, you're making your wife walk up to the tee. I said, dude, I don't make my wife do shit. She does whatever the hell she wants. I show up to make sure she's taken care of. I don't make her do anything. You must not be married. And if you are, you're probably not anymore because that's how it works. So that's kind of how it started. And then we just had we had some guest on. So we had Juan come on and then we turned it into just a guest show. It's just me and him. And then some weeks were light because we're not the Joe Rogan experience. So we can't really land anybody we want. So we just started asking people to come on, and people were like, awesome. Like Vipers come on, TK, Trenton Marshall, and we're like, Joshua Vergara wants to come on our show. That's a thing. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you realize that we like look at Joshua Vergara and guys like that? And we had Tim Schofield on. I'm like, these are like huge people for us. We're like, these are people we watch and like really follow. And like, they want to come on and just shoot the breeze for an hour and a half. Okay, yeah, man, so that's how it starts.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're happy being happy.
It was great, and we like to thank Juan for that, because if it wasn't for him, me and Sam would not know each other. So we appreciate that. It's Juan's community. That's where me and Sam met, on the Discords and in the chats and stuff like that. And then that's how this sort of all came about.
That's amazing.
So, and that's what it is. So I've got a friend of mine who apparently likes to make a bunch of stuff. She's got like laser printers and all sorts of crazy stuff. So she actually made the logo for the show.
Oh God, yeah.
We're doing our podcast. So that's the logo. And she made shirts, and I'll actually have to turn around.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's like that.
I want to be her friend.
Oh yeah, she's like, I'm just gonna
so do I.
So what the funny thing was, she just like, as she's testing out this stuff, so she just makes random things, and she was just throwing stuff away. She's like, so I'm just gonna make your logo, and then I'm just gonna create a bunch of shit, and then just send it to you. So she's made stickers. We have a mug with like laser etched mug. Pop sockets.
So cool.
It's crazy, and she's like, game on.
Yeah.
So Matt's all that, and I was like, we gotta get. So she's gonna make a care package. We're sending stuff to Matt, and what we're going to do is, and I was gonna mention this in the show, is what we're gonna do is when we have guests on. So this is something I'd like to do is we're gonna like have like send you like a care package, like if you want a shirt or like a pop socket or stickers, we're actually gonna get a PO box, and when after the show, as a thank you for coming on, I'm just gonna mail you a bunch of shit.
That is so cool.
And you can use it and give it away, or you can just burn it. Like, who's these fuckers? That's cool. So
burn it. What?
That's nice.
Right. So we got the show, and then Matt, we're gonna get his shirt. So eventually we'll have his shirt because we have a t-shirt check. So obviously you wouldn't know about this. So
there's a bit of a delay. Actually, I think she might know about the t-shirt check. Josh wasn't prepared, but
Joshua wasn't prepared, but I actually am.
Yes.
What the heck? I'm actually wearing his shirt.
There you go.
Because
gotta rep it. Right. Yeah, you gotta represent. I mean, seriously. So yeah.
I was like, you know what? Let me wear Josh's shirt for the t-shirt check. I prepared.
Good
I
deal.
did my homework.
That means that you're actually listening to the show, and we think that's like
that's awesome. You're the first person that's been ready for the t-shirt check.
Right. Well, we figured eventually that would become a thing. So if somebody's going to figure it out eventually.
It doesn't make for good audio.
Hard enough to figure it out, like, oh, they had a t-shirt check? That seems like a weekly thing. I'm coming ready. Screw it.
It is a thing. I like this thing. I remember when I was listening and you guys said that, I was like, finally, guys who appreciate the stuff you wear when you show up.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We got Aditas in the house, MBU, Dave.
It's good.
Yeah.
If you're listening to the audio though, I don't think a t-shirt check's going to be very.
No, it doesn't translate to just the audio podcast. Like, it's not a thing.
Whoever's listening to just the audio, I am wearing the Joshua
the JV.
I've got my England t-shirt on.
3 lines on the shirts.
Okay, fine. You're right. It's hard. It's okay. I get it.
Okay. Well, and then we got so we have a lot of things going on. So, but I mean, we're eventually and then I actually have a buddy who used to be a real big. I live in St. Louis, Missouri, so I don't know if you know. It's okay. So it's in the center of the United States. It's pretty good for like
very flat land. Coming from someone who lives in an archipelago, I'm just like so much land. That's a lot of land.
Well, and I think Matt and I were having this discussion about the United States, like the country itself is humongous compared to like the Philippines or the UK. It's like, it's large as hell. So,
we might be small, but we're still powerful.
Right. Physically size wise, I'm nothing. God, how are you going to read into it? God, I'm not trying to be a dick here.
I was looking at numbers, and the Philippines is probably about the size or smaller than just California. That's one state. You have like what, 50 plus? What the heck?
Well, yeah, you've got 50, and then you've got like, we've got Guam, and we got like territories and like the Virgin Islands. So if you think about it's like 54-ish, kind of. I don't know. I don't really pay much attention to that. So yeah.
No, but you could put England inside, like, I don't know, California itself as well, to be fair.
Right. So, but yeah, and it's just miserably humid here, and like it's really hot and humid in the summer, and it's really bitterly cold in the winter. So we get like the worst of both worlds with like weather. Missouri is just not very good weather-wise. It's kind of, it sucks basically.
I hate being cold, and Joshua knows this. Like, there are times when we're in a hotel room and I have to switch the air conditioning off so that I can shower. Like, I hate the cold that much. So my thermostat is at like 22 or 24
Celsius, right? Okay, yeah. So I think that's probably
that's too hot.
No, that's cold. That's me being cool. That's me going my maximum comfortable coldness.
Yeah, any colder
I think that's about anything higher than 24 degrees in England. I stay inside.
Oh my gosh.
So, let's be honest, in England is not very often it gets over 24 degrees.
Does it even get sunny there at all?
It's been sunny today. I mean, it was thundering yesterday, and it's going to thunder tomorrow. But it's been all right today.
It rains every day there, doesn't it? Or
it didn't rain today. It just dribbled a little bit.
I mean, I saw shows, and there were really nice boots and people walking around with umbrellas.
Yeah,
we go walking in the rain. You have to, otherwise you don't get to go for a walk.
Where the hell are you ever going to go?
Where's the raincoat?
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, if you're in the UK and you're waiting for a dry couple of days to walk anywhere, you're screwed. You're not going to walk anywhere because it rains all the time.
It's going to be really sunny next Friday.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Just one day. But we're prepared. We're ready for that day.
Holy Christ. Anyway, so now we get to turn it back on Issa. So this is where we ask you, since that's now, and actually I think that's really the first time anybody really asked enough to care about the genesis story of the Across the Pondcast. Everybody in the chat kind of knows we started from like nothing, and we're still kind of not semi-professional. But yeah, so how did Issa start? Like, when did you decide? Like, when did all that kind of start with like getting online and doing reviews, and kind of how did the Issa origin story kind of begin?
Well, I talk a lot. Obviously, I read a lot, and I've always been on the internet. I've always blogged. I have this weird thing where I've never really been techie, but in my friend groups, like obviously my friend groups are not techie at all. Like, I kid you not, I have a girlfriend who did not know what a GIF is.
A Jiffy GIF?
Yeah. She didn't know what those were. So I sent her an article that I wrote that had GIFs on it. And she was like, that's a great article, but why are your photos so pixelated? And she was just like, I don't understand. And I was like, because they're supposed to move and they're GIFs. She's like, I don't know what those are, but the photos look ugly. And I'm just like, what? But those are my friends. And like, out of all of them, I've always been like the more techie one because I've always been online. Right. So there's that. And then fast forward, I've always been online, always been blogging. I went to law school. On my third year, I was like, oh, well, what do I want to do? I want to do this. I don't want to do this. And I ended up writing for my previous publication, which was Gadget Match. For a while, they've asked me to come on, but I've always said no because I was never really the techie and I felt like it would take too much time if it's something I didn't know. But then they offered me eventually to do like a girl's perspective on tech. And that's where it started. But of course, it's still different. If you're a publication, it's like you have a more serious voice. It's still coverage. It's still all that. And then, I mean, I guess it's creative growth too. You sort of want to find your own voice eventually. You sort of want the freedom to be able to do whatever you want. And then I finally moved on to doing my channel. And so I guess the short story is I'm not a lawyer, so I'm on the internet.
Okay, that's fair.
And dye my hair pink. And the long story is that and a few other details. So it's a bunch of weird things that led me here. But
I guess
bottom line is I like telling stories. I like talking. And so like when the videos happened, it wasn't necessarily me going like I want to do YouTube, but more of I was doing content and creating in this space, and it seems like to be listened to, videos are the way to go. And I mean, for me, my ultimate goal really for my channel, I mean, aside from the fact that I want to survive financially, sure, I got that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's always helpful. Yeah.
It's always
yeah,
the idea.
but what I really want is for the things that I find important in my tech, which might be different from what a lot of people find important, for those things to be recognized and for those things to be valid in the eyes of more people, you know? I mean, how technology works is basically people review it, brands take that feedback, and then they create the new stuff. But if the voices telling them that what they need or what they want are voices that aren't my voice, I'm never going to get what I need or what I want, right?
Right.
So it's basically a long play for getting what I want.
That's okay. and that's what I like about it too. And this is the conversation we were kind of having before the show is I love your content for a lot of reasons, but for what drives me to is it comes from a completely real place. It's not me. You can kind of tell. I've listened to it and watched enough people. It's like, they're kind of like, they're not feeling it, right? They don't want to do it or they're not loving it. And you're also coming from a woman's perspective. It's like women look at tech and the way it's used differently. And it's totally valid. And matter of fact, in other ways, it's underserved. Nobody really hears about that. You hear about review after review about it's got the screen, it's got this, and it feels good in the hands, and it's got a refresh screen. And it's all great. And then here comes Ethan along. We're like, hey, guess what? It's like awesome. And it like shows it. Like you were showing us that thing.
That was the worst Easter impression.
Trust me, it wasn't an impression. It was me,
that was brilliant. We're clipping that.
That's me just being stupid and not like I'm an idiot. So anyway, but I watched where you had like the phone and like a drink and like women. I watch women and they do that. They'll have like things going on. They're always talking and they just seamlessly grab a drink and then they grab their wallet and they go, hey, they're way more guys just like, right. Women are more into the gymnastics of it. So seeing your content and how you approach it is refreshing because it's different and it's something that's underserved and we don't get a lot of content on it. And I find it fast. Like your LG Velvet coverage, I was mesmerized. Like I was like, Becky talking to me. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. She's like, I'm going to do this. I'm like, yeah, buy a house. I don't really give a shit. Right now, for this like 15 minutes, I'm like tractor beam. And usually I'm not like that. I don't watch other people's content. I do. Like I'm really listening to it, but I don't enjoy it like that. In that way, I was like, man, this is so awesome. I enjoyed it. It's really, really good because you got both. You got the tech stuff, but you got another opinion, and another voice, another approach that it just you don't get. Yeah. It's nice.
It's true.
I appreciate that. I mean, I just want people to enjoy things without like all the numbers. You know, there are things, there are phones and tech that for some weird reason you just absolutely adore, despite it being crappy at this or that, despite it not being the best, and it's just you're just so attached to it. And I mean, I guess if I can get excited over these things, I just want to be able to share them because a lot of the times too, I've had girlfriends who've had like this phone for such a long time, only because like someone said it was a good phone and they bought it and they don't really know how to use it. And I tell them that they can selfie this way and they're just like, what? No one told me that. But like it's all these little things too, And I mean, I guess in Joshua's words, because Joshua has been like talking about this one thing that I super appreciate too. Like he's been saying quality of life things when it comes to your devices. And I guess that varies from person to person. Mm-hmm. And, I was looking at numbers. So I'm supposed to do a talk. I spent the evening doing a PowerPoint. My God, did you know that you had to do PowerPoints when you're a grown up? Wow.
I did for work for a training I had to do. And they're like, and I did the whole training. They're like, where's your PowerPoint? I went, I don't need one because I know how to use it. I'm going to train the agents on how to do it. They go, we need a PowerPoint. But why? I'm not going to use it. Like literally not going to. And who watches that shit anyway? It's like they said. What do they say? The average PowerPoint engagement on a slide is 7 minutes. So whatever content you got on a slide, and whatever you can't get out in 5 minutes, everybody's going to check out, and everybody's like, "Oh, great, the next slide." And then what they do? Then they read what's on the PowerPoint. Like, dude, I can read the shit on the PowerPoint. I don't need you to read it for me. I can go. Okay, I got the concept, right? And then the guy's just reading it, and they're like, "Why are you reading the same shit that you're just
saying?"
And step off to the side and stand there and let me read it, and I'll go, oh, "Yeah, next, dude, make it go. Get the fuck out of here."
I'm doing a talk for one of the Asian tech shows, and I wanted to put like a few numbers. It's basically a cheat because I know I'm not going to remember the numbers, so I did it pink and put the numbers on there. But it's just so amazing because apparently, well, I mean, we all know this even without the numbers. Smartphone penetration is up. Not like there are more people that with smartphones than without. But what's amazing to me is that despite economic status, despite wealth, despite age, there's no difference between men and women when it comes to that technology penetration. So these numbers vary if you're in a developing country versus a rich country. These numbers vary if you're older or younger, or if there's even a correlation with your country's GDP, which obviously I'm not getting into because like who understands that shit? But
right, definitely not us.
For women and men, there is no difference. So that being the case, why is tech content usually catered towards the male demographic? When, right, the parody of the Instagram girl is girls being on their phone all the time. There is no person who's connected to their phones more than these influencers, right? It's amazing to me how like we are not connecting these two. Like there's still a disconnect, right?
Yeah, and I think that's, like I said, again, I think people look at it in the lens of their own experience. So they, if they're not in India or East Asia or the Middle East or South America, those markets have different dynamics, different kinds of people, different kinds of engagement. Phones don't sell well in certain markets because of cost. And I think Apple kind of figured it out because nobody in China is buying an iPhone because people, or like India, they're very price conscious. When you see an iPhone at $1,200, it might be the best thing in the world. It might make sandwiches and make phone calls and walk, it might do all that shit. You can be like, I can use it to like iron my clothes, but it doesn't matter because at that price point, it's automatically a no matter what it is. That's why the iPhone SE or the Nords or those budget phones come into play, and it's not all the same things work for all the same markets. And if you approach it with a very singular focus, you're going to lose markets. So that's why I think companies that do engage in market penetration, look at the numbers and metrics about what's driving what market, that's all different. You got to be able to be flexible there.
Dude, exactly.
It is mad. But I think the main thing about your content though is it's not just aimed at certain. It's for, like I said to you before, my eldest watches your videos because things are nice and they're pretty, and she wants it because it looks nice and it looks good. She doesn't care what it does. She doesn't actually care at all.
Okay.
But as a young girl coming into technology, especially with a dad like me, who is just a tech nerd, she watches like you. She watches iJustine, but I can't really think of anybody else that she sits and watches consistently. I tell you what, she does watch Juan's videos. She just sit there. She sits there. She looks at the man with the punchable face in the silly hat, and she's sitting there, and she really listens to what he's saying, especially when it comes to his photos and video stuff, because she likes to do that. But she really does like your stuff. Because like I say, she picked the band for her Fitbit thing because she'd watched some of your videos. She's like, I want that. It looks nice, that does. Can I? And I'm like, listen, you're not having that. That's £1,000. You can't have But you can have the case. I can get you the case. That's $9.99 on Amazon. That's fine.
Right.
I really appreciate that you said that because I've had this issue of hyper focusing on how my stuff looks and me wanting everything to be like pink and stuff. And it's just
we appreciate it. We're not pink at all.
I've got pink stuff.
on your fucking head. You don't.
No, not right now.
Your hair pink.
Okay,
Not right now. You should see my other headset with the ears.
Oh yeah, I heard about those.
Why did you wear those when you have East on? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Because this one sounds better.
I remember, it's not about function; it's about look. And
unless you're doing an audio podcast, then it's about function. Let's be honest.
Man, I would have, if I had a headset that had ears that was pink and shit, I would have rocked that shit no matter how bad this audio would have sounded.
I would have. But
I mean,
so,
come on.
It's funny that you say that because I once dyed my hair purple. And so many girls came up to me saying they loved it because, you know, it was the perfect not too bright, but it's still bright color, if that makes sense. Like when you're an adult, it's the perfect in between, but I'm still rocking bright hair color.
Right.
But here was the problem. When I started dyeing my hair pink, the number of little girls that came up to me in random scenarios, like I'd have a girl walk up to me in a restaurant and just stare at me. Like I'd stop little girls walking with their mommies in their tracks, and you could see them like just stop and then look. Then I pass by and then you hear, "Mommy, her hair's pink," and I'm just like, "Yes, girl, and you can get pink hair too."
Right, and you can make it multicolors. You can tie dye that shit. Rock it. Here's how you do it. Mom's like, "No, don't do that." And you're like, "No, I'm here. We're gonna go ahead. Don't listen to this woman because in about a couple of years you're not going to anyway. Here, here's the new normal for you. You're gonna rock pink and blue." Fuck it, right? Let it rip. And it's funny. Yeah, it's
and so I colored it purple, and then I remember talking to Joshua and I go like, I mean, I like the purple, but I want to go back to the pink. And he's like, why? It looks both look nice, but like why? And I'm just like, I mean, adults or little girls, like it's the little girls, it's their comments I care about. I don't care about all these girls who like my hair, ask me where my salon is. I care about that little girl, you know, growing up, seeing a girl, an actual adult with pink hair. I mean,
yeah, and that's like my daughter's got tattoos and she's got a couple on her forearms. I'm like, it's not that I don't dislike them. It's just like, honey, when I was 18 years old, I would have got a tattoo of a hockey team on my shoulder. I don't like that hockey team anymore. I'm 45. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what I'm more worried about is that's a permanent decision. And you may not feel that way in 20 years. And it's like, then what are you going to do? Right. I don't know. So it's good to see that. I think young women into tech, I don't think that's a market that they think about. They don't think about it that way. But you see like Matt's daughter who just sees the pink band and go, it's like, it's engagement. It's like, that's now that spurns other engagement, like other tech. And now they get to do things because it's not just a guy's thing anymore. Now it's like, I can look at it from this point of view. I can look at it from, it's pretty. If it's functional, it's okay. And I think that's what a lot of people look at with any of their tech. I think women who use their tech, it's almost not necessarily functional. They're willing to use the phone that drives them crazy as long as it maybe is. This is the phone I like, and I just like it, and I don't want to get rid of it because I just like it. I don't know why. I can't put a finger on it. It's not articulable, but it just works for me, and that's. And I don't think that it's understood by a lot of guys. I think they just go, well, if it doesn't have giggle flips and 90 hertz refresh, so why the fuck would you use it?
Giggle flips.
because and here's the thing: if you're a husband, right, and you have a wife, don't argue. Just go. You like it? Fuck it. Rock on. High five. Grant's house. Okay, you'll like our phone.
So,
I don't give a shit.
So with this scenario in mind, can you imagine Joshua though
trying
to solve my problems? I'm like, babe, I need a new tripod. It has to be this tiny, but it has to stand like this tall because I want to do stand-uppers. But it has to be light. Is there a pink one though?
Yeah. Can I spray paint it with like glitter and shit? Because I'm gonna like.
Like every single time, and he always tells me that what I want defies the laws of physics. We live in a world where refrigerators talk.
Right.
Someone has to invent.
That's literally true.
Yeah, it's like I had
my fridge told me there was milk left. It's fine.
Right.
Or let's be fair, I watched the unboxing Massive Tech unboxing, the average consumer, and he did have a tripod. It come in a thing that was like this big, but then it opened out into this massive, and I was like, oh.
The only one tripod that has been working for me, which I love, is the new Peak Design one. Because I literally run around in tech shows in heels. And with like the 3-pound Manfrotto tripod I used to carry, which eventually I got to carrying because I started exercising more. I mean, ideally though, exercising is not the solution to your tripod problems, right?
Right.
But so I mean, it's cool, but it's not pink.
Right. I mean, you have to have standards. It's like, look, that might be great, but do you have it in like other colors? Because
you literally have to just go to the shop and buy your own spray paint and just do it like you just do it yourself. I think that's the only way to do it and get the color that you want.
Well, I mean, hopefully, I mean, again, my ideal world would be where a lot of girls would say, you know, this is what I want, and eventually manufacturers would be like, you know what? Yeah, let's make that version too.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, look, they spray painted that one pink. Maybe we should make one that's pink.
And then, Aditya is not a fan of dyeing, but then again, I got a luscious head of hair. Luscious.
Okay. When you said
luscious.
I'm not a big fan of dyeing, I didn't.
I had to read that first. I'm like,
no, I'm not a big fan of dyeing either. I'm just saying.
Hey, guess what? I figured out the secret of life. It's not fucking dying. How about that, right? Yes, high five. Figured it out, right? He meant dying like your hair. And he's I just don't like, Aditya is a little different. And the fact that he's using the word luscious, it's like we're using the word moist. I'm like, luscious head of hair. It's luscious. It's just so.
I think I need to dye my hair.
I think you should too.
Do it.
Purple. I think
Do it.
And then, like I said, and Juan's running into the same problem, like with his daughter, right? Trying to fixing up an old bike.
Yeah.
And, like with a color. I mean, he's not worried about like the function. Like I can fix up a chain, put a gear.
That is true.
It's like, but honey, what does Lex want as a color? And then here's the thing, it's going to change next week. She'd be like, Dad, I know you painted the bike pink, but people sold last week and now it's orange. I'm like, oh shit. Okay, well, I guess I'm painting it again.
The way I've been trying to explain it to people is that basically I have a bare minimum for what it does. And if it does that, I'm going to go for the glitter or the pink or the whatever, you know. It's also like if a lot of guys are like, I want refresh rate, I guess women look at design that way. I want design.
Right.
I want, you know.
Aesthetics and look, right.
Yeah, I want aesthetic. So I guess it's prioritizing, right?
Right. And then you may have women who are into the tech, right? They're like, yeah. And then somebody made a comment, everybody like Erica Griffin and Lisa, you know, that they may, like Lisa's definitely obviously very skilled and knowledgeable technical wise. She may not care necessarily about that aesthetic, but can appreciate it. Whereas, and there may be guys who, and depending on who you're talking to, like Aditya would be kind of a guy that probably would be okay with like, if it looks better or if it's a better design or it's a better look aesthetically, I would be almost willing to sacrifice technical functions, technical specs.
This is it. Like my partner, Kirsty, she literally wanted the P20 Pro, not because it had a good camera, really good back, literally because it had that twilight color on the back. That's it. It's the only reason she had that phone. She's still got it now. She still uses it. She doesn't even want to upgrade her phone because she says none of them look the same. None of them look that good. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. No,
yeah, for real. I mean, it's of all the phones I brought home, the one phone that my sister and my mom wanted would be the Z Flip.
Mm-hmm.
Because to them, it was such a magical, cute little thing, you know?
Yeah, you're just like, boom. They're like, wow.
Yeah,
don't get it wet. Don't take it outside in the sunshine.
Dude, that thing is slippery. Like that's my one big qualm with that phone. It's so slippery. It's like I put it on the table, it's moving by itself. I'm just like, what is going on? But I mean, it's not to them. It's not even the fact that the screen folds. You know, they could care less. Like they didn't even think about the fact that the screen folds. It's just a pretty purple thing that folds.
Right.
Like screw the tech that made that happen. Who cares?
Right.
Folds.
And then you got somebody like Ronald. He makes a comment like, "I'm function over form," because he needs it. Like, and again, application. Like I work in an industrial environment. I work in a place where the Z Flip or the Galaxy Fold just isn't going to work for me. And that's why I'm really kind of upset that Samsung got rid of the active line, right?
Yeah.
I think that served. I had a person that I work with that she had a S7 active and didn't want to get rid of it. Finally got a new phone just because it bought the farm.
Yeah.
And she's like, do they make, and she even asked me, she goes, do they make like an S20 active? I said, no, they don't. And it's so for everybody else, like you said earlier, your earlier comment was, it's different use cases for different everybody. And why do we have to be like, I have a use case where I want to use the Velvet or I have a G8X, right? And so I like the dual screen with that. It depends on what you're going to use the phone for. So the first thing I always tell people to ask me, I was like, what are you going to do with your phone? And they're like, well, I'm a picture person, or I like to have, I just want text and calls and emails, and I don't give a shit. I was like, okay, well then you could do any phone, really. Yeah. And so it's some people have to use devices because of their work or because of their personal preference that are sturdier or industrial, not necessarily ergonomic, but work for them. And you have to service all customers.
That is very true. I literally have an ROG too. Like that is the most. Like you've got to be that specific person to want to get that phone because it's aimed at a very specific market. So it's not like it would be for everybody. Yes, it glows on the back and I can make it pink, but it's still not going to be for everyone. It's functional for me because it's got the triggers, it's good at gaming, it's got the vents, this one has got the headphone jack. The ROG3 will not have the headphone jack, which is
right.
You can make the back pink.
Is the back pink? Can you make it pink?
I can make it any color I want. Yeah.
Well, then you should make it pink and use that.
I think it's pink right now. Yes, it is pink right now.
Imagine it's like.
You're full of shit. It ain't pink. You just make it pink.
No, it's on pink. It's on color flow. It's on pink right now.
Right.
It'd probably be green in a minute.
Yeah, sure.
No, every time someone asks me what the best phone is, my next question will always be like, what would you use it for? It's exactly that, because there's no one perfect phone. That's how we got in this mess in the first place.
Yeah, it's your fault. No, it's not your fault. We're just kidding. That's a joke. It's not your fault. Unless Issa's making phones, she's like, make them different. Fuck them, right? It's like, just I
don't know. I wouldn't mind to see what a phone designed by Issa would look like.
Yeah, I can tell you, it'll be awesome and it'll be pretty.
One would be dark pink.
Yeah,
one would be limited edition glitter.
Yeah, and then here's the thing, and then it like has the audio, like the notification goes, "Hi, it's Issa. Do you have a message?" The audio, because it's not just about the visuals, right? Make the audio when it goes ding dong. You're like, you got a phone call. You can answer it anytime, like now. Get to it.
Why do you sound like a seductive? That doesn't sound like something your phone would say to you.
No, but
it
should be.
I'm over here.
No, but I guarantee if you're in a crowded place and you're like and you're sitting there listening to it, and your phone,
know it's your phone,
and then all of a sudden it would be like, all of a sudden you hear Issa's voice go, "Dude, text message."
Oh my God.
It'd be like, who the hell's talking to you? It's like, no, this is my phone. It talks to me.
So when I was younger, this was probably around the time that we had those Nokia phones. I forget which phone it was, but my mom had a phone and it had that function where you could customize ringtones.
Okay, yeah.
Well, she wasn't really the biggest techie, so she had a phone and she'd pick it up. So I, for some reason, switched it to a recording of me screaming. So if you're Filipino, you can call your mom mommy mom, but we have this Tagalog word that means mom too. It's nanay. Okay. So I recorded myself screaming nanay, and it wasn't a pleasant one too. It was just legitimately me screeching. It was just like, nanay, answer the phone, nanay, me screeching, and I forgot about it. And like a few days later, she's like, what did you do to the phone? I was at the grocery and someone starts screaming. And I couldn't find my phone. I couldn't turn it off. I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and
that's a good story.
That's what I mean. How many times have you been in a store and you've heard somebody's ringtone and you go, what in the fuck is that? It's like, what is that great?
Most of my time, my phone's on just on vibrate, just from work. You just leave it on all the time.
Yeah, or you
don't even know what my
it.
ringtone is.
Like, dude, I've been calling you for 20 minutes. Oh, I left it on Do Not Disturb because
I don't even know what the ringtones on either of my phones are.
Dude, I don't change them anymore. Like a lot of my phones are on silent. Mine's on silent.
Because of work and stuff. And I guess that was going to be my next question. Like, what is your like daily driver? I know you. Here's the thing. I noticed you use a lot of Xiaomi stuff, not, like just and like the phones. And so
they're pumping out some good stuff at the minute.
Dude, I use a Mi Mix 3, the little slider phone. I love that phone. That phone was awesome. Had ceramic back. It was great. I love the slider because it was cool. Show people like, hey, watch, I got something camera. Click. People are like, they make a phone that does a slidey thing? I go, yeah, they make a phone that does a slidey thing.
And the ceramic back, which is underappreciated.
Right. Yeah. So I guess my question is, what do you use? Do you use multiple phones? Like, how does that work?
I usually switch to whichever phone I'm reviewing.
Okay.
Now is a weird time because I'm in the middle of, I just unboxed something that's supposed to come out this week. It's a Huawei device. So I'm set to switch to that. I've been on the Mi 10 5G only because I used it for a hot second and then I had to switch to another phone, but then I really like that one, so I switched back to that. I always just have this iPhone mostly because lately I've been so lazy when I edit. So if I miss an audio clip or a clip, I legit shoot it with my iPhone and airdrop it. It's like
she's giving up the secrets. Trade secrets.
Coming from being so overcritical of the stuff I shoot, because I have one of the biggest problems I've had building my channel would be that I overthink things. Mostly because I feel like I have a chip on my shoulder. I feel like I need to be proving that I can do all this great looking things, even if I'm, someone who likes glitter and pink, it's just, I feel like I overcompensate because for me to be able to say I like aesthetics, I feel like I need to be able to show you that I can also do shit other than just liking pretty things,
Right.
I mean, that's my insecurity talking. But after, just trying to unlearn that, just trying to be more casual, just trying to just get stuff out, I have now resorted to shooting with my iPhone because I forgot to shoot it. Like, no, this is wrong because I should have shot it.
Right.
This is something I should have been on top of, but I'm just like, you know what? No, so that's when I have my iPhone. I'd usually say the iPhone stays at home because I bring out the other phones, but I mean, I've been at home for 5 months. So I guess that's a thing too. It's weird because one of the things that I'm sad about is if and when I actually really like a phone, I can't really stick with it. I'm sad about the Velvet because I want to be on that. I wanted to be on that more, but after I reviewed it, I was on that for 2 weeks or 2 plus weeks, but I had to switch out. I'm just like, I want to go back to that.
And that's the reason why I asked, because I know there's some reviewers that I know they have to switch phones because they have to actually do real world tests. They have to use it, and they only have a certain amount of time, right? And that's the other thing too. It's like, I've used this phone for 72 hours. Here are my thoughts about how you should buy this phone, and you're going to use it for 2 fucking years. But I've used it for 72 hours, and here's why you should use it. It's like, I don't. And I realize that's the way. That's the world you live in. But it's interesting to see that some people they get a phone, they review it, and they're like, dude, I don't care if I have to use a phone to review. I'm going to keep my SIM in this phone. I'll test the call quality, and I'll put my SIM. But I'm not leaving this phone alone. I'm going to rock this phone because if Matt was reviewing phones, he would put his SIM in another phone, but he would use that ROG phone too. That would be his driver, and that's it. He's not coming off that phone until either ROG 3 or something else. So it's interesting. That's why I always like to ask, because some reviewers approach it differently.
So my iPhone never has a SIM. When I travel, this stays just in the bag. Normally, I am an Android user. I love widgets. So I've been an iPhone user all my life. And then when I started doing tech, I even had trouble reviewing Androids, because I was just like, what is going on? There is a learning curve. I always say that because a lot of my friends are just iPhone users and they're like, is Android worth it? And I always say, you know what, there is a learning curve, but what Android is in your head because of what it was when, all these new phones were coming out is not what Android is anymore, if that makes sense. Like and they have widgets. I mean, honestly. And beauty modes, I really like beauty modes. But it's
I can't imagine why. I can't imagine why.
No, it's also I would rather just not put out a review if it's not a phone that I've actually used. I don't have reviews for all the phones I've used because I feel like to put out a review on a phone that I've just tested cameras out of. That's why I do camera tests. Because that way I can do that. It's easy. It's like I can take a lot of photos and show you. But it's my background of being in a tech publication, but I put a lot of weight in the word review. If I put review on a video I made, it's probably a phone that I've used. I mean, no, wait, let me rephrase that. Why did I say probably? It's a phone that I used because I will not put out a review if my SIM had not been in that phone for, a long time.
See, and I like that. Because you can't really review a phone unless your SIM's in it and you've actually used it.
Yeah. But it's also hard though. It's like, who was I telling this to? Like from my side of the world, like the amount of phones that come out. It's
probably staggering.
I have a phone that I haven't unboxed because I'm like, what am I gonna do with that? This is a $100 device from Realme that I just got, and I'm just like, I unboxed it. You know what? I'm not even gonna do anything else with it because it's like there are 3 phones launching next week.
Right. And you just don't have enough. Unfortunately for us, there's only one Issa. You can't like clone like a team of Issa. Like I'll get the real mail, you get the other one, and we'll just like team it up and we'll like come together. It's like it's just you. I mean, there's not a team of people. It's just you.
Exactly.
It's actually kept me up at night thinking about how I can figure out a way to do more and Joshua knows this. Every 2 weeks I have a breakdown because I want to do so much other things. Like, babe, when am I going to be able to do this? I need this and this and this and this and this is what I want to do, but there's only one of me. And it's also trying to take a step back and be not crazy about the shit I want to do, honestly.
Well, and here's the thing. It's like, there has to be, remember like with me, my company, the organization I work for is very big on work-life balance. And you have a problem with work-life balance because there's nobody managing that. It's like phone. And you got to and it's hard for people who like me would be hard to do balance because I would definitely skew to work. Yeah. I'm like crazy. I'm like, I'll log in on a Sunday. My boss is like, why are you logging in on a Sunday? I'm like, because it's easier for me to get work done because when I log in at work and they see on Skype that I'm available, it's like boom, boom, boom. I'm like, dude, I just logged in 10 seconds ago. Can you assholes calm the fuck down? We are not putting NASA. This isn't NASA shit, right? We're not putting stuff into space. People they need my help or things are happening. And so with you, it's trying to find that work-life balance. Like I've got all these phones and then you got all the top of like, then you're critical about your content. Like, how does it look? Am I doing the right work? I got too many phones. Yeah. It's like, it's shit that will make you like go crazy. And eventually, then it becomes not fun. And that's why I don't want it.
That's what you don't want. That's what you don't want.
Nope. I don't want this to be a job because I love just talking to you and getting to know Issa and not worrying about all the layers of stuff. And I wanted to mention it because we got like a bunch of people. So like El Jefe's in the house, TK is here, Juan's here. So all of our people are here. And I love that they show up and take their time because it's really great for them to all listen to us because these are guys we look up to. Like I look at Jeff's reviews and I really look at like when he did the more. So I'm like, I really know. Yeah, I need Jeff to tell me what the hell sounds good because I don't have a clue.
Jeff is the man.
They have those pink ones. They have pink ones of those earphones. I was watching it last night, actually. The one more color. Was it color? The tiny one.
Color. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the green ones. And I was watching.
I haven't watched that yet.
Oh no! I've already decided. We're sending Issa a shirt, and it's gonna have our logo, and it's gonna be pink.
Yes.
We're sending gear.
I'm excited.
Can you do that?
Yeah. I can do anything I want.
I suppose you could do anything at this point, can't you?
Yeah. We can do anything we want. You're awesome because nobody gives a shit what we do because we're nobodies, right? That's the beauty.
That's true.
When you're not
the best podcast you've never heard of. Yes, that's our tagline.
Right.
It's so tough when you get into your head about all the things and so I used to do like these weekly Facebook lives. I used to call them Wine Wednesdays, like with an H, because I wine with wine. And I just used to just say whatever the fuck I wanted. And I can't even do that anymore because I get into my head about production quality, which is something that I'm trying to change. Hence the whole iPhone shoot, whatever, with what camera I have. Because I'm just I used to really, even just streaming. I never stream anymore. This was live shows, Instagram live or Facebook live, which I used to do a lot because I just enjoy talking a lot. But now I get in my head about what lighting, what camera, whatever. So this is one thing I'm trying to unlearn, this constant moving in my head. But
it's tough. It's tough.
But it's also for example, trying to grow your channel, right? Trying to get numbers. So from my side of the world, I know that I can get so many views if I start doing budget phones or doing whatever. But then I'm but I want to do the things that I like the glittery, these are not things you find on budget phones. Right. Or for example, I want to do smart mirrors and smart vacuums, and those do not do well on my channel because who Googles smart mirrors? What is the SEO though?
Very little. I would say probably very little, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine a use for that. Well,
no, dude, I went to a smart home in Chicago and they had all these cubes and it had a smart mirror that you could talk to it and it actually showed you they had a little panel on the side where it had the weather that day and what your calendar looked like. It was it was amazing. And then it had set up where everybody who'd walked in, so it knew when you walked in, so it adjusted the lighting. And for Issa, she likes her temperature set at a certain temperature. So if she was at home, it knew that Issa was home. And it would change the temperature and change it. It was badass. It was in Chicago.
So it's not like the mirror on Snow White. No,
no. I mean, you could have that.
If you ask it, will it tell you are the fairest of them all?
I would want that. So.
Be like, Issa, damn girl, you look good as shit. High five. A little thing would come out from the mirror and you'd high five. Yeah, I'm gold. All right.
Yeah, I don't think I could look at a smart mirror because I think can smart mirrors kill themselves? I mean,
it would look at you and go, dude, you're going to go out in public like that? Really? That's the look you're going for? Okay. Well, fucking rock on.
Me and a smart mirror would not get on.
And here's the funny thing, just so we're clear, we had an over-under. I think it was 37 minutes on when Issa would actually drop an F-bomb. And so the over is 49 minutes because she did it at 49. So if you took the over, you're in good shape. If you took the under, you're paying the
Congratulations, you've won. Right. Fuck all.
That's a good game. That is a good game.
Yeah, so we basically had, because it was funny because if you listen to the show, it was better watching it because it was Josh was well, and he's all, he's very respectful and very tactful because he doesn't know us. He doesn't know what kind of thing we're doing here. And he's F it. And I said, oh, if you just want to say fuck it, just say fuck it. Just let it rip. He's and it was just as soon as that happened, he's he's yes. And after that, it was fuck this shit and that. It was great. It was really good. So it was kind of funny because it was
awesome show last week.
You could see his face click. He's I could just say fuck it. Yeah. What's buddy is if you're in the woods and nobody's listening to your shit, you can just say whatever crazy crap you want to, and it's all good. He's oh, then I'm gonna let it rip. I'm dude, let it fly. That's the stuff I want to talk about because when you're on your show, you have to be there. There is a persona. You have to do that.
I know, yeah.
And with me, it's and Matt, we're just two dudes just talking about whatever, and so we don't care. And the beauty of it is the fact that we're not trying to grow the channel and not thinking about metric and SEO and just having fun. I don't care if this ever goes anywhere. I honestly, if it does, great. And I'm glad that people enjoy it. And that's what I want you to do. I'm glad you're coming on. And I see all the smiles and you're actually enjoying it, which is cool. We like that.
Yeah, that is cool because one gave us a name. I'm a chilled bull mastiff and he's a coked up chihuahua.
It's why do I got to be on drugs, man? That doesn't work, man.
Okay, I have to say this. I love chihuahuas. We have 3 chihuahuas.
I'm in. So,
I don't think chihuahuas on coke.
No. Well, I hope.
I also say that because I probably would be the Chihuahua, and Joshua would probably be the Chill Mastiff. We are very, very on the opposite spectrum. Okay, I can't even say that. We're on the opposite spectrum, like me and Joshua. So like, you saw that whole gradual change of like him being calm and collected, and then realizing he can swear.
Right.
But then half of the time he's doing that, right? It's a very graceful process of Joshua being Joshua, and then Joshua relaxing and opening up.
Right. And being
on the other hand, I'm just like here, and I've already crashed through 3 walls probably in this situation. And it's just like, what is going on?
And he's probably like, that's Issa. That's my girlfriend. She's just, I got nothing. She just does her thing, and I'm cool. That's all you got to do, and it works out pretty good. So that's and so I guess the what I wanted to more ask you about is, so what is your next steps? Like, what are you trying to do? I realize you're struggling with this like content and how it looks and all this different like phones, but how does what do you think of yourself like the next 6 months or year? What is Issa's channel, or what are you looking to do, or what kind of things are you looking at as far as projects or how that's going to look?
I hope to stay sane in the next
this lockdown is not helping. Right, and it's a challenging time for sure, especially.
But it's also really I want to enjoy myself. I want to talk about the things that make me happy. It's finding the balance for me, really, because it's trying to grow, but it's also I want my stuff. That's the whole point of the channel, right? Talking about the stuff I like. It's also for me the balance of trying to get out of my whole tech publication mindset. It's sometimes I just keep on doing all the content, the hands-on, the unboxing, the reviews, and then I stop, and then I go like, wait, no one gave me a format. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Mm-hmm. Why can't I do? So it's trying to get out of that mindset. My ultimate dream really is you know how tech YouTubers have a look? Like, if you look at a video, it's a tech YouTuber. If it's dramatic lighting on their face,
the B-roll,
and color on the back,
and you need a Tesla. You need to have maybe 2.
You're gonna get a Tesla,
2 of them,
or 2.
Right, and you have to have that
pre-order the Cybertruck just in case.
When you're in tech YouTubers,
But there's a look, right? There's a look. But so that isn't my peg. My peg really is for you to feel like I'm this girl in a coffee shop you're talking to when I'm talking to you about my videos, which is still like something I'm working on, because sometimes I feel like I get into this mode of presenting. Like it's something that's switched on in my head. Mm-hmm. And it's still me trying to unlearn that and trying to make this into a conversation, make this into something fun that we're just doing. And it's very refreshing to be talking to you guys, and for you to be talking about just enjoying the podcast and just saying whatever the fuck you want, because ultimately that's what I want. Mm-hmm. Say whatever the fuck I want on my channel.
Who had 3 F-bombs in a row? I mean, we're just
give it another hour and we're gonna be like, it's gonna be crazy in here, right? It's gonna be but I mean they
started doing shots. Oh my god!
And that's what we're doing. Like I said, and that's why I like having people on it. I want to know, like, what is Issa like? Like, what does she really care about? You don't get that necessarily in the videos. And it's like I want to have more of these conversations, and it doesn't have to be. We talked a little tech, but we're talking more about the things that you like to do, and to see that you have these frustrations. And I think all YouTubers do it. Like, and Juan's made comments about there's this balance of like, you got to do reviews, but then you have an SEO because you want to grow your channel. But then it becomes you chasing your tail a little bit, right? Then you have to break paradigms and mindsets about, okay, well, I was writing for a publication, but now you have creative flexibility. You can do whatever. And here's the thing. Let's say you do something and Issa's channel just goes into the shitter, right? And just dies. Then it's like, screw it. I don't care if this podcast goes nowhere for 10 years. I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it every Sunday, and it's fine. So for you, we're coming into it completely fresh. With you, that's a challenge, breaking that paradigm of like how I used to write for Gadget Match, and like how do I break that and kind of realize that I have some flexibility, but then where do those lines go? What does the battlefield look like? Like, where can I go and how far can I go? And do I alienate people? Do I alienate sponsors? Like any sponsor, they hear our content, they're like, I don't want those assholes sponsoring my shit. Those guys are psychos. Right?
I'm surprised we even have a sponsor.
We do.
If I'm being honest.
We actually do.
You got to remember, Issa's got a hashtag now.
Right.
We made our own hashtag on TK's show.
There it is. Yeah, we did. And
I gave a hashtag. Oh, well, I can't even remember what it was. Issa Tech Queen. That was it. Because one's got hashtag some punchable face guy. TK's got hashtag TKRB. So we needed another one.
That TKRB, I love that. I love that.
Our Bay.
I
mean,
he's our Bay. If one's still here, he's not yours. He's ours.
He belongs to the world, and you need to
let that go. One keeps trying to claim him, and it's not fair.
I just want to say hi to James. He's from Manila Tech MNO. Is also starting. He also makes his tech videos. So that's
cool.
nice.
Hello.
Hi,
well, hello.
James.
Welcome. Thanks for coming in, and we appreciate you coming by. And please continue to come by.
There's the hashtag war in the comments. One's claiming him again. My Bay. No, ours.
Well, it doesn't count because he's not hashtagging it. So. He's just he's got.
He's at it. That's enough. It doesn't count.
I don't count. It's okay. So so we are sponsored by Screamskin. So just a real quick plug. It's like, so you should go on. It's a UK based company. They do skins and they do like phones and they do consoles. And I've actually got skins. I actually had one for my Note, which my daughter is using right now. They're great and they ship internationally. Give them a try. And they got like Wednesday, buy one, get one. So you can get I got one for a 7T. Is it the 7T Pro? No.
You got it for the 7. You got it for the 7T.
Right.
And you got one for the Note 10.
Do they have glitter skins? I want to look.
They got all
actually they have a Matt Morpheus one, which is but it's a black and glitter.
And here's the thing, I guarantee
they have all sorts of colors as well. There's loads.
You can talk to them; they'll probably glitter the shit out of it for you, like a special edition Issa one. I'd reach out to them. What the hell? Why not? I mean, we're gonna have.
They do all sorts of colors anyway. I mean, they have all the fancy colors and
I think.
I just remembered another thing that I love about because I was typing and I just remembered another thing that I love about Android, the fact that I can get
I like
the gradient too. That's always such a cool.
Yeah.
See, I'm sad. I've got the USS Enterprise behind my keyboard.
Why are you
but I can do that.
Why
I can do that. About that? I'm not sad about that. I like that. People would call me sad about doing it. I'm not. I love it.
Well, I like it too.
Why would I not?
They may call you a dork, but they're not going to be like, "Oh, that's a sad fucker right there." USS Enterprise. He's a sad.
I don't care.
We like what we like.
Exactly.
It's all good. So, like I said, they're really competitively priced and they're really good. I think Ronald, Ronald got one for.
Yeah, he did. He just got the S20 Ultra red and black.
And it looks really, really good. So yeah, if you're looking for somebody to give them a try, they're in the UK. Yeah, they do. They do stuff for I got for the PS4. I'm gonna get one maybe for the Pixel. Although I got this Monarch case, so I don't really know if that's gonna be a thing. I might get one anyway. But yeah, just give them a try. Check them out. They're really good. They'll ship internationally.
I can own a pink laptop.
Yeah,
we could make that happen.
Oh,
they do laptops. They do cover laptops. I'm not sure 100% what laptops, but I think it's the mainstream one. So
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, so MBX asking what color is my 4. It's the shiny black with the white button. So
yeah, you lot all thought I had the orange Pixel for a time, but it wasn't. It was just an extreme skin.
Right, they're really good. They're really sharp. So you should check them out. And like I said, and we have a special code. And we should probably get it to you so you can get some.
We'll drop the link in the description.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, so we'll do that. And like I said, they're really good. So, as a matter of fact, I was talking to my daughter. She would actually switch to Android if she could get her hands on that BTS version, that S20. She loves that phone.
Dude,
I would get her to switch. She actually would go Android and piss my wife off fierce. She hates the fact that I got her daughter already on Android. If she could get that BTS phone, my daughter's like, I would buy that shit in a heartbeat. She's a stan like crazy.
There is a heart on the camera thingy majig.
Okay.
That is the cutest thing. There's an actual heart on there, and it's sold out here. I think within minutes. I was thinking of buying it. But then I'm like, I'm poor, so
it's like I don't have like this thing of money. I don't have money. Why don't I have money?
You know, I literally learned what BTS was last week. And the
I've known all that shit.
I had no idea what this K-pop. I didn't know what any of it was.
I might as well be a stan. I know BTS, K-pop,
Nope.
BTS.
No clue what any of it was.
Concerts. I've been dragged to this shit. I'm like,
it was literally, I think I scrolled past a video somebody had made. I think it was a Samsung. They did a special edition Samsung phone. And I was like, what's that?
yeah, no, I'm like a stan, but not really in the group. But yeah, I know BTS, ATEEZ, EXO, all that stuff, man. Blackpink. I listen to that stuff in the car. My daughter's been on like K-pop for probably 3 or 4 years. She is stupid into that stuff. So yeah, she saw that BTS phone and she's like, Dad, you're gonna buy it? I'm like, fuck no, I'm not buying it because you want it. You can go ahead and buy it yourself. I would switch to Android for a BTS phone. I said, I don't give a shit what phone you use. Use the damn XR. She said, you're 19 years old. You got a job. Go save up your own money, and I'll hook you up. And then like, oh, yeah, that purple's cool. I love that color. Even I was like,
that's a beautiful phone. It's a beautiful phone.
I like unique colors.
Yeah,
they're all getting a bit boring. Like this, even I'm like, I've got the ceramic flipping X. But it's the Oppo.
Oh,
I was like, I could have made it better. I mean, God, I like it pretty.
So cool. Like, is that legitimate? Is that the leather?
That's the one that I couldn't get a hold of here.
Is that cool or what? It looks awesome,
dude. So I love this because one of the things that I'm scared of is ruining the texture, right? So when I reviewed this, I didn't have the case on. I didn't have the transparent case on because my hair stains everything I touch. I literally have to travel with a black towel when we go to hotels.
It's like the pillows. I'm like,
it's bad. So I mean, it's a price I pay. It's a price I pay for pink stuff, pink hair. So I review this without a case, and it's so resilient because it's actually more of rubbery. So like you can hold it with wet hands, and then stuff just wipes off, and it doesn't really stain. And I love it. I like this.
Look how much better that looks. I mean, look at mine. Look how much better that one looks. It just
that I saw that. And I was like, that's legit.
Yeah, that's with a case on as well. Let me take the case off. It just doesn't look as good, and I couldn't get hold of the leather one here.
Well, the problem is, and that's
rare.
Thing, when Moto did their whole, they had different backs and you could do the Moto.
I miss them. No, I do miss that. I mentioned this the other week on the show. I miss the fact that you could go on a website and literally build your own phone, like customize how it looks and everything.
Yeah.
Especially women. I think women love to be able to customize it in different colors and matching schemes, like having like pink buttons and like
it's not just a woman thing. My PlayStation matches the skin on my PlayStation, matches the pad, matches the headphone stand, matches the TV, matches the wall. I have it all matching, and that was my idea.
Yeah, that back is legit. I mean, I've seen it. I'm glad you actually have. I wish I could get a hold because it looks like it looks really cool.
That texture, really.
Yeah.
I much prefer. No, it's not just the way it looks; it's the fact that I don't have to worry when I put it down if it hasn't got a case on it.
Yes.
Right,
because it's not glass. It doesn't need to be glass.
Yeah, and one last question I was going to ask you: did you ever use Windows phones by any chance? Like when Windows phones?
So I was a very, very big iPhone user. Since I think my last iPhone was the 6S, which was 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then Joshua got me this iPhone actually, which is funny. Can you imagine? The Android guy gave me an iPhone.
I know. Well, it's because you're an iPhone person. He's like, you're thinking about an Android. You'd be like, what are you doing with this? Are you out of your mind? You're obviously not paying attention to our relationship here. Are you not seeing what the hell is happening here?
Yes. It's funny because when I first met him, I think I was on my very first few Android phones, and he was the one who taught me about like what a flexi keyboard was, because I didn't know you could. Coming from an iPhone, you don't know you could change keyboards.
Right.
You don't know what widgets are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is your keyboard like not white? And he's like, yeah, because you can make it any color. I'm like, what?
that's a thing. And you're like, yeah, it's a thing. Let's do it right now. Download it. Let's go. Yeah. And so it's just I because that was like the first. I remember having the Lumias, having like the really bright white and the really red and the orange and I had a Hulk green 1520. That was my favorite phone of all time, and it was polycarbonate. I would buy a polycarbonate red or yellow or orange Lumia like right now. I would literally, if it was an Android phone, I would buy that phone because you don't need a case. And if you had a 920, you could throw that thing literally like the top of your stairs and go, screw it, and just toss it down the stairs and just like, it's fine. Who cares? It's all good. And it was awesome. It was made, they were practically indestructible back then. It was loud colors. I love that. Orange, yellow.
Yeah. And you try and find an indestructible phone nowadays.
No, yeah, you can. It won't work. But like the Nord, I just don't. It's got a real Fisher Price toy. That blue.
No, I don't like the blue. I don't.
Feeling it.
When I saw Josh's video with the headphones, oh my god, they are awful. They're blue headphones. They look literally you just picked them up out of a cupboard full of toys.
No, I had this exact same reaction because we were on a call and he was just like showing me the white ones and I was like, nah, that's cool, that's nice. And then he brings out the blue ones and he opens it up and I was like, what happened? What? And for a color that they've been hyping so much.
Right. I don't dislike it, but it doesn't move the needle for me. It's like that. No. It needs to be either. To me, it needs to be dark or blue. But like, and I don't like.
I don't have a problem with the phone. It's not the phone. It doesn't.
The buds are terrible.
But the buds are blue and yellow. They are awful. The phone is better in grey. Yes. But the color doesn't bother me as much as it does on the buds. I don't know why that blue and yellow just looks. I don't know. It just you could buy me them and I'll send them you back. I don't care.
Well, you buy me. I'm not sending shit back. I'm gonna rock them. I don't care what the fuck color they are. I'm just saying. I just like for me. I'm like, it's just It's just okay.
I'm okay with the blue on the phone.
Yeah.
But the buds, no.
It just does. It's got a. Like I said to me when I first saw it, it seemed like a Fisher Price. Like it's like the little plastic, little radio.
Yeah.
You got those in the reduced bucket.
I told Joshua that too. I was just like, it looks like a toy. Why does it look like a toy? It looks like a Fisher Price toy. He was just like, yes, that's what it looks like.
It does.
Dude, and I googled Fisher Price blue, and I
it's the same color.
How much are those buds?
Yeah, it was the same color palette. It was exactly. I was like,
I can't remember how much they are. How much are the buds? How much are they?
I have no idea.
Like I said,
they look like a 50p toy, but they're $80.
$80. Okay, well that's okay.
Not for the blue ones.
Oh, I said he says the color blue's from a 64.5 Mustang. Okay, well that's cool. I on a car maybe it looks okay, but on the phone it's not. I don't hate it. I'm like, oh my god, that's terrible. It's just like it just reminds me of a child's toy color. It's just that's the first thing that comes to my head. Yeah,
I think it's like if it were blue and a white inside, it would be better, way better. If it were all blue, it would be way better. But like, where did even this green come from? Like,
it's
literally, the guy who designed this was like, "Oh my gosh, we have a blue now. Put the blue on the earphones." Oh, and then on the inside.
You got a hideous lime green? We do? Let's do that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Let's make it. Someone will buy it somewhere.
Yeah, I was like, where did it even come from? Where? I'd understand the almond, but you had a phone that was almond, right? Like it was that all white thing.
Yeah, I had a OnePlus 6 that was that almond. It was awesome, man. That was
that looked
I think Andrew in the chat's got the almond 7 Pro.
Yeah.
No, I think
that looks good, but like to make it that green, like this is I'm sorry, but it seemed like the guy who picked those colors just wanted to be edgy, but he really wasn't.
Right, you're convinced that's a guy. Because if a woman would be like, it used to be like, what in the hell is this fuckery? No, we're not.
It's bad.
Yeah, Issa's like, no way. Nah.
Yeah, it's funny because like the wireless earphones that I have decided to hold on to. Let me show you. So Joshua got me these. These aren't really good, but they're pink. They're crazy.
I love that case. That's
So I have these. I have Huawei FreeBuds, and they're red. So I like these.
That candy apple red's cool.
We can talk about sound quality all you want, but they're red. Okay?
Right. So
and it looks like a compact.
And we've got Jeff in the chat as well. So.
Yeah, that first one with that case, that's bad.
Oh, okay. So I am no Jeff. I am not like I have so much trouble with them because I'm a casual user. So It's like if they sound right, if the latency isn't bad, it's good, you know. But these are terrible. I'm sorry.
They're awful.
I could not edit with these. I love them because they were tiny too. It's amazing. And Joshua got me these because he knows me so well, and it's pink, and I love them. But they, like, use case wise, not good. These have like active noise canceling. Can you believe?
Wow. Yeah, that's cool. Here's the thing. Matt, I'm not feeling that whole like Apple iPod stem thing. I'm just like, God,
I've got the Sony XM buds, so I'm happy with them.
And they look okay. I don't like the stem sticking out. They're just so.
I agree.
It's
the same as the new OnePlus ones. They don't look comfortable.
I like one.
Oh, well, of course you do. Well, of course you would. What the hell? Why not? Would you? I mean, seriously, if you didn't, I'd be like, damn, you're slipping. So what the hell's going on?
Yeah. No, but you're right. I don't like how the buds look. I
like more minimal. That's just me. I have a pair of Jabra, the 65 Ts. I really like them. The only thing is they give me ear fatigue. After a while, I can't listen to them very long. But I'm looking at something that's like the stuff that Jeff does. And I don't know. Just something about that color and that way that I just think it's cool. I actually considered getting so my question is like with like the Xiaomi, have you used like the Mi Band and like the ear, any of those?
Oh, so the Mi Band is here somewhere.
Because I was thinking about picking one up, and I
love the Mi Band. I love the Mi Band. I still am waiting on a pink strap, which was the happiest I've been waiting for a strap because it was pink. It's stuck in China somewhere, but so yeah, it's amazing. I love it. There is no other wearable I've tried that has that level of optimization. Customization. Those rhyme, but I meant customization.
See, you're among people who understood what you was trying to say without even saying it. We know what you're talking about. We do all that kind of thing all the time.
Is that the Mi Band 4 or is that?
It's a 5. It's a 5.
Okay, so yeah, I need to get because I've been looking at the 4 and I thought about the 5 because I have Xiaomi before the Mi Mix, and I just want a simple tracker. I really wish I had my Band 2, my Microsoft Band 2. I still love that. It was not very comfortable, but man, it was really, really good. So, but yeah, it was.
I would highly suggest it because honestly, at that price point, if you don't like it, don't use it. You know,
right? Exactly.
It's amazing. For women, it has menstrual tracking, which is something I always
very good. Yeah, especially for my daughters too. That's big. It's a big deal for them.
Especially. Yeah, it is. And then they said there's gonna be a blood oxygen tracker in an update, which would be cool because especially now there are so many articles coming out about how you need to track that because one big sign of COVID is if your blood oxygen level drops. So it's actually it's actually an addition that a lot of people have been looking for in their wearables. Okay. So yeah, it's awesome. I like it.
Transparent pink strap is the jam.
Yeah.
I was so mad too because I wanted it in my video. Because like if you're showing up something that's cute, it has to be pink. I just heard myself say that.
No, you did say it. It was awesome, by the way.
But I don't have it yet. It makes me sad.
So I guess my question is how and probably most of the people in our chat are probably aware of you and know already how to find you and probably already are following you in case we can drive all those 5 extra fuckers that aren't paying attention. 5?
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. But I mean, how do people get to follow your channel? I mean, your Twitter handles. I mean, I want to make sure we get all that to you. And I would like to make sure that people can find your content? Because I think honestly for people who want a more holistic approach of like things they may not always think of, and then perspectives about how to look at tech that they may not see, I think your channel is fantastic for that, and I want to drive as much possible traffic to you as possible because I think you're awesome. I find your content great.
Nice. I really appreciate this. You don't know how much this means to me. I mean, this is honestly something that makes me feel so happy, so warm inside. I'm not even kidding here. I'm being serious. I appreciate it so much. And I've always said this, it's amazing how the tech community, like how I've met so many people who never in my life would I have thought would watch my stuff or would support what I do. And it's amazing. I'm so grateful. Oh, wow. I sound like Joshua.
I know.
I'm so grateful.
It's okay. I mean, because it's refreshing to see just a different kind of voice and a different kind of approach, and that's why we like. So I want more people to check out. If you aren't following Issa, please, I'll put the links in the show notes when I post the podcast.
Links for days. We'll have links for days.
And please check her out. She is, especially if you have the Velvet or you're interested, just to kind of see and just watching the content. It's nice because it's just you can sit back and just chill. And I remember I watched your LGV Velvet content, and I'm not kidding. I had my G8 on my chest, laying in bed, and had the top open. I was just sitting there just going, this is awesome. I could just sit here and watch her forever. I mean, seriously, I mean, I like everybody that comes on. I like we've had Trent Marshall and Jason Lewis. We have really good guys that are really, and Joshua, super, like you would never think that's like, you think, oh, maybe they're not, but everybody that's come on has been so nice, and we really appreciate you taking time. But
definitely.
God.
How can people find you?
Wow, I blanked out, and it's the links there. It's the links portion. Wow, Isa. So you can find me on YouTube. That's Isa Does Tech, of course. On Instagram and on Twitter, it's Cisa Said. I've had this handle for the longest time ever. Maybe I should change it because every time I say it, people are like, "What?" And then I have to spell it, and then it's spelled like this, guys: SISASAID, and that doesn't make it any better.
They're like, hey, I got it. Did you catch all that? I caught none of that shit. What in the hell is this ID? Sid?
Yeah.
Sid.
We'll figure it out later. Just nod.
So, okay. It's actually like it's in so my name is Isa, and let's nerd out a little bit here. So I'm Filipino, and our national hero is Jose Rizal, who studied in Spain, who wrote these novels, who woke up the masses to look at the injustices of the people who colonized. And well, one of the characters in the novel, her name is Sisa.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So this character is basically the Filipina trope of being pure and bashful, and basically a lot of things that I am not. But
that's okay.
What happened in the novel was that, a ton of bad things, as is what happens in novels when there is a lesson in the end. But bottom line is she goes crazy. So it's Sisa Said. So it's basically crazy talk.
Okay. I like
that. I like that. Yeah.
I thought I was poetic up until I had to actually tell people to follow me, because then they're like, what? The what? The
Sisa Said. I know what that means. And you're like, I have no idea what the fuck she's talking about. But if you just spell it, I'll find it.
And then you have to go like, yeah, SISASAID.
And they're nodding and like, yeah. Did you catch all that? I got nothing. I don't know what you said. We'll just look for Isa, and we'll look for a pretty face, and we'll just follow that. It's okay.
I always just say, find that picture with the pink hair, but then I remember I switched my photo to a cartoon with pink hair.
That's okay. Does it have pink hair?
Yes.
Yeah, but funny enough, apparently it was for lesbian fan art, which I didn't know when I was doing it, but it made me a cute profile picture anyway. So it's one of those like paper doll things where you actually make an avatar.
Right.
But apparently it was an avatar maker for lesbian fan art.
Okay, well that works. I
didn't know that. but it doesn't matter because now I have a cute cartoon avatar.
Right, and that's all that matters, really, at the end of the day.
That's true.
So, like I said, we loved having you on, and please, we would love to have you on again anytime you want to come on. The door is always open, and just obviously we'll continue to follow you, and then, like I said, please let us know. And I'm glad you had a good time. Hopefully, this was enjoyable for you, and that's what
it is.
Well, good, and I'm glad. Like I said, and we'll talk offline, and we'll give me your information, and I promise we'll send you out some gear because it was my wife's idea. She was like, "Why don't you just send these guests like a bunch of stuff?"
I still don't have any gear yet.
Gotta make it. We're new to this shit. I mean, God, quit being a dick. I mean, come on,
God damn it, Sam.
This was really a birthday gift. She's like, I got this box. It was like, I got a mug and I got like pop pockets. I'm like, holy shit. And Matt's like, let's get it. I'm like, I gotta get it made. I need your shirt size. I'm like, calm down, dude. Just chill. It's cool. We'll get you. And I'm gonna get Issa some stuff. And we'll send it to you. And we'll get it to you, I promise. And it'll be awesome. And I'll use FedEx. I will not use U.S. Postal Service because I know.
FedEx. Use FedEx for international.
No shit.
Dude, don't use DHL.
Okay, I will use FedEx because I used U.S. Postal Service. It took 2.5 months for him to get my G8X. He
sent me his phone. 2.5 months later, I got it.
And then he FedExed it to me in 36 hours. I got it. I was like, dude, that's legit stupid. Yeah,
36 hours from me to you.
More stupid. So geographically, let's say China is nearer the Philippines.
Right.
Literally, like what, a 4-hour flight. Shipping from China to the US is 3 days. To the Philippines can take months.
It's because somebody's walking it. They're just like carrying their shit. It's like,
sack.
Philippines, where do I go? Well, there's an ocean. You got like a sea. You got to, well, how the fuck are you going to walk here, dude? What the hell are you doing, man?
Build yourself a boat.
I just swim. It's cool. Fuck it. We'll get there whenever. It's cool. So we really appreciate you having on. We're at about 1 hour, 25-minute mark, but please come on.
Wow.
I know.
Fun.
That's why I hate I hate having to cut these things short because I have so much fun, especially this show. It's been like literally, I mean, I'm smiling more because I'm usually a grumpy, pissy kind of person, and you make me smile and make me happy. And
you smiled quite a lot recently. I think you're enjoying everything a lot more.
Well, I love Matt. He's my mate. And I've loved
every time you say that, it sounds really weird.
Because you're weird about it. You're being stupid about it. Just calm down a bit.
You're trying to be British. It doesn't work.
I'm not even trying to be British. I'm just trying to understand all this stupid shit you guys do. You guys do stuff so weird. And then like every little pocket in Britain has their own little shit. It's like every town.
Oh my gosh, I have a question. I have
Sure.
this really weird question about
absolutely, please.
But does the sugar come in lumps?
No.
Really? But I've always seen them go like
comes in bags.
1 lump or 2, and I'm like,
in really expensive. If you go to a really expensive restaurant, then yes, you'll get lumps. But 90% of the time, 95% of the time, it's just sugar in a bag.
Is it lumps or cubes? Because we get like sugar, like little cubes. They're like perfect square cubes.
I think I've only ever seen it once. It was like a ball.
Ball of sugar? Is that
it's like a ball or a cube or a rectangle? I don't know.
Well, the next time
we tend to have a little bowl with sugar in it, and you just scoop it out and put it in your drink.
Well, the next time we have these on, we're not going to do anything tech related. We're just going to talk about crazy English shit and crazy American shit, and we're going to get some Filipino.
Covering crazy American shit is going to take a long time.
My grandmother's half sister married a Filipino man. His name was Augurio Baldasso, and he came up with I'm not kidding you. It's like pork. It's like pork and rice and green beans. I don't know if that's it's so good. And I've had Filipino food. I think it's what it was, and I don't know what I have no clue. It's just whatever. My mom's goofy.
It was just food.
He served it, and since he served it and he's Filipino, it must be Filipino food. I'm like, Mom, that's not a thing. So we need to get on. We'll have you on next time. We'll talk about cuisine and
food. Because if I make you shit, it doesn't mean it's English food. It just means it's me.
It's pizza. It's probably pizza because that's all you eat. Is pizza.
I don't eat just pizza. In fact, I'm going to have pizza.
We need to talk about cultural stuff. I want to know about because the only thing I know about the Philippines is where it's at, and the former in the mid '80s. I'm old enough to remember like having the former rulers of the Philippines and not very. I can't remember her name all of a sudden. Jeez, it's the lady with all the shoes, Imelda Marcos. Yeah, Ferdinand Imelda Marcos. I'm like, that didn't sound like a good time in the Philippines history. So we need to talk about like more cultural stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so interested in the Philippines and just generally.
We can do an Across the Pondcast Does History featuring Issa. It's a long title, but we can roll with it.
And you can help us out with all filling in the blanks and all the cultural things in the Philippines because I'm curious.
I can tell you what I know.
That's okay. That's all we really expect. The rest of stuff we can guess about.
You can sit there with Google and just tell us everything.
It sounds like a PowerPoint waiting to happen.
Well,
yes.
we'll help you.
Yes.
I have some experience with it. Not much. I'll help you.
Well, one last thing about the Philippines, though, that you should know is that we have so many beautiful beaches.
That's cool. We want to talk about that for sure. All right, so we're here. It's Matt. Matt, anything else that you want to run by?
Nope. I think we've covered a lot of what we need to talk about. Yeah. I can't believe how fast this has gone.
I know.
We try to make the show a lot more like podcast worthy, like, and it's not working. We
always aim for an hour. I think the closest we came to an hour is when it was just me and you.
Who wants to listen to us just bullshit for an hour? I mean, people checked out at 30 minutes. Like these two assholes. They don't have a guest. Fuck them. We're out of here.
Yeah.
So we're glad. And Issa, please come on anytime. We'd love to have you again. And
welcome.
Like I said, and I think Josh mentioned you guys are maybe doing a show, and if you are, me and Matt are totally in, and we would love to listen. And maybe at some point, Josh said we could come on, and that would be awesome. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like if we can actually start it.
Yeah.
He's gonna do it. He looked pretty dedicated. I think he's gonna want.
No, it's about I am supposed to be in charge of it because I pushed to do this. We wanted. I want to do a podcast about us, but not tech. But like more of like relationship and life. Actually,
that would be fun.
Everything else, really.
Me and Sam have a fucked up relationship. It'll be great.
It's really it's like an agape love. It's not an eros love. It's an agape really kind of thing going on, which is so weird because he gets so like, well, why do you say that? It makes it weird. I'm like, because you're making it weird. Quit being a weirdo about it. Just like let it go, man.
Fuck.
It's cute. This back and forth is actually very enjoyable.
Well, we're glad because we tried to make it enjoyable.
Of this back and forth.
So for Issa and me and Matt, we really appreciate you guys taking all Aditya, Gary the Fireman, and we got a new Techno. I don't know. Emino. Okay, awesome. And we got El Jefe and TK and Juan's in the chat. We love you guys. Thank you for coming and sharing and liking our stuff. And please subscribe if you can. We're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Google Podcasts. The show will come up. We'll have lots of great stuff. And please, if you haven't listened to Issa's stuff, do yourself a favor. Get to her channel like today and start listening to it because it's really good stuff. And you're really going to enjoy it. And it's good because you can just listen to it and be doing something else and really just kind of relax and just enjoy a fresh perspective, which is something I love and enjoy thoroughly. So for Issa, and we're going to sign off, and we will see you next Sunday at 3:00 because we have a regular guest from the UK, I believe, and we'll talk then. And please, Issa, check us out.
First UK creator.
Yeah, we're excited. They're hard to come by, so we'll get it on there, and we love to have you. And please come back anytime. We are more than welcome as always. We loved it. We loved having you on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Have a good day, guys. Be safe. Wear your masks, and we will catch you all next Sunday across the podcast. And we're